Today in the crypto space, we see the market showing a bit of strength. Bitcoin right around 85,000, up approximately 1.5%. Ethereum climbing back to that $1,600 mark after taking a bit of a dip. Hopefully Ethereum starts to reclaim some previous price action, and the rest of the crypto space. The altcoins doing okay, at least holding steady, but some of them doing pretty good. Solana hype and Render doing pretty good today. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one project that's looking good today, as I said, Render. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome on the channel. We talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins. Looking for opportunity, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with the market, because we are seeing a bit of strength. Just know that tomorrow is a holiday. Markets will be closed in America, of course. And obviously, we know that the crypto space is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. However, guys, the volume and the market participation differs when there's a holiday, okay? So be prepared for weekend-like type of price action. Very thin order books, very slow market, not so much, market makers hanging around. A lot of whales, perhaps, a bit of whale manipulation, but just be prepared. As you can see, the overall market cap is going sideways. Trading volume is still stagnant, not really doing much, and I anticipate that could be the case throughout the rest of the week, leading into the weekend, and maybe even until the beginning of next week. Bitcoin currently is going sideways, as we can see, but we are seeing some good strength out of some of the alts. As you can see, BNB looking pretty good. I'm not talking about just percentages, because percentages do matter, but the reality is what I'm focusing on is the market structures, what it looks like on the chart. BNB right now is looking for a push to the upside. It could definitely look for a higher high here. Same with Solana. Solana, as I said yesterday with that Solana video, Solana is showing strength here, and we see that based on on-chain metrics, given that Radium is also looking pretty good. So we can see that the Solana narrative is waking up just a little bit, particularly if we start breaking out of this range and making a higher high, a confirmed higher high, especially with a daily candle close. Okay, so not bad. And you can see that these bottoms right here are looking pretty good. We got about 3% on average, I would say, depending on the project that you're looking at. HBAR a little bit more, but after a bigger dip than expected, obviously a bigger recovery is also valid. And you see a few others like Bitcoin Cash. We have Polkadot waking up a little bit. Not bad after, Polkadot not doing much for the last good while. And as you can see, the market's looking pretty good today. It's not too bad. Overall, doing nice. Ondo 2%, Near Protocol up 5%. This is good. This is what we want to see. BitTensor. Remember what I've been talking about BitTensor, guys? I got into positions on BitTensor. I started taking on leverage with BitTensor, margin positions, and here we are doing pretty good. So I'm happy with those entries. I'm happy with that scenario, guys. Even Render's looking pretty good. Actually, too good today. Almost like I feel like we shouldn't be buying into this price action because of the pump on the lower time frames. But if we zoom out and look at what Render's trying to build here, Render's looking pretty good, to be honest. Kaspa as well. You gotta admit, Kaspa's at a good level of support, and we could see a little bit of a bounce there on Kaspa. We have others, so many. The projects right now are doing pretty good, at least respecting TA, and at least getting some good reactions at bottom ranges here, guys, where we are desperate for support. All right, guys, so not bad. Generally speaking, the market's looking okay still, and I'm hopeful that the bottom is in, and of course, we are prepared for invalidation, but still hopeful in the sense that we are strategically increasing our risk as we build confirmations, as the market gives us the data that we need. All right, guys, I know you're here to talk about charts, so let's begin. Let's begin our analysis talking about Bitcoin before we talk about render. Bitcoin at the current moment hasn't changed. You can see that it's still in this range, but what's more interesting to me is that the current local price action, based on the structure that it's building, it does look like it's very possible for a continuation. Let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. Now, I don't want to get overly bullish, and to be honest, I don't even want to get overly bearish here. I would like to stay neutral. And neutral bullish is actually where I would really like to stay. Neutral, but taking a bit of risk, taking some chances. And the only reason I'm going to be taking chances here is because of the clarity of the chart. I do realize that we are struggling here to continue to the upside, but I also do realize that we are struggling to come down here. Support is real and it's looking pretty good. I also noticed that we are, very hopeful that we do form a bottom, that this is the bottom, and we make a higher low if we do break down here. So super important stuff at the current moment. We have momentum still in an uptrend. EMA is facing up on the histogram bars. Everything's looking pretty good. So ultimately, momentum and trend is diverging still. Nothing has changed. So I'm going to sweep right through this real quick. Get it on the lower time frames quickly. If we go on the 4-hour, guys, again, this structure is quite interesting to me. Does this become a bull flag? Does this become a continuation? Do we get a quick exchange of hands at this level and finally break some tops to the upside and maybe hit about 87,800 for a real good level of resistance, maybe a little bit lower, something like that? Because I feel like another leg up could be possible here based on the momentum. The momentum hasn't gotten overbought, and we can see the volatility at the current moment trying to push to the upside. So I'm curious as to see what the bulls have left in them, and I'm waiting to see some signals. If we break below the yellow line, guys, it's not looking good. In fact, if we start breaking below 81,600, even worse. If we start breaking to the upside, good. Break a structure. Let's go. Let's see what kind of pump we have left in us. If the bulls have enough strength to, test these tops or even break right through. We never know, guys. This is the way the market goes. We got to be prepared for both case scenarios. And at the current moment, Bitcoin is looking okay, right? As you can see, very neutral, very sideways for many days now, at good levels that we could anticipate both a continuation and a retracement. So this is the way trading is, guys. It's a game of probability about possible scenarios and taking risk where your invalidation is at best. If you want to go long, best time to go long is at these bottom ranges. On the lower time frames, get in and try to get in on a long position right here, because then you can put your stop loss, below. If you are going to go short, you want to get in on these wicks. When you can see sell pressure, you try to get an entry at these wicks, and then hopefully it comes through and we roll over. To be honest, I have a slight bullish bias on the lower time frames. Even on the 1 hour, I do feel like we could get overbought again, given the fact that we were oversold, and going for overbought conditions is usually what happens once we leave oversold conditions. So I like to see that happen at the current moment. A bit of a breakout, even if it becomes a failed breakout, at least it's a confirmed higher high if we can close a daily candle above it, and then come down for a higher low, higher highs, higher low. Trend is your friend, and we start moving to the upside on lower time frames. That's basically what I want to see here. But again, guys, the market is very neutral. It is absolutely acceptable at the current moment to be very diligent and to be very play hard to get with your money. Don't have to take much risk right now. Spot buys, DCA, nice and slow. Find your good projects. Find large caps that are sustainable and that have a high probability of being around for the next little while, and then you'll be doing good. Wait for the micro caps, wait for the small caps, and we'll have our moment. Let's get some confirmations out of particularly Ethereum, and then we'll start taking more risk on that and get on that risk curve a little bit more and more aggressive into those micro caps. At this current moment, it's about safety, it's about calculated decisions, so we don't want to front run that and rush that process whatsoever. All right, guys, let's take a look at render. Guys, it's been a while since I talk about render on a dedicated video like this. We do talk about it on the live streams every so often. Just a reminder, guys, I'm live every single night at 8 p.m. We talk about different altcoins. You guys request different the projects. We analyze charts. We talk about a bit fundamentals, and we prepare. We prepare every night for the next day. And render has been doing pretty good. I'm going to quickly get on the daily so we can see what exactly has been happening here for render. And you can see that this level was an interesting one. We did fall below important zones right here. bounce, bounce, bounce. And if you look, this was also important. Obviously, these tops and all this consolidation, previous price action, huge node of volume here to act as support. We did get a double bottom with quick reactions to the upside, so that's pretty good. Could we come down for another? Very, very possible. Okay, we have to entertain that possibility, but the fact is that we are now back above the white line. And for me, this white line was a very important one given this level right here, as you can see. And obviously, looking left, there's other levels that I already showed you. So I'm interested here. Now, what I'm more interested, regardless of this white line, it doesn't really matter per se about the white line. What I do identify is an opportunity above this weakness, a lot of this weakness. If you exclude this price action right here, which basically got, already, this price action right here has a lot more value, okay, than the previous. But still, we have to consider that there is still weakness. Even if you exclude it, you can see there's weakness right here. If you exclude it even further, you'll probably see a little bit more of a gap. And as you can see, this is an opportunity, guys. That's the reality. Okay, so what we want to do here is identify this opportunity and put a box in here. The opportunity suggests that if we can break above $4.72, we can start flying to about $6.50, which is an easy opportunity. Why? Because there's not a lot of resistance here. We do have a node right here to worry about, and you can see this is where there was a bit of a sell-off, a continuation to the downside. The bears did sell with that sell pressure, and I can expect a bit of a reaction here, so prepare. But generally speaking, the bigger reactions, the bigger emotional moments are all the way up here at 650. Okay, so that's that. Now back to where we are right now here on this market structure that we're building. It looks really nice. I'm gonna make it a bit thicker so we can see it a little bit better, just so for those of you that want to see exactly what I'm talking about, and we'll reduce the size of this line temporarily. Okay, so that's that. Now you can see that we are still making lower lows and lower highs. Very clear. Double bottom suggests, and especially with these wicks like this, if you go in higher time frames, it's likely to look like a tweezer bottom, more or less. As you can see, look, if you get on the monthly, it looks like a tweezer bottom, a very nice one for that matter. Okay, so if you start zooming in here, you start to see, well, it's V recoveries, 2 V recoveries, very nice buy ups, strong pressure from the bulls in defending the level, which is nice. Now the question is, was it enough strength to actually make a higher high? I have a feeling Render's working on it, and this would solidify a potential change of character. Now a double bottom doesn't really give you a strong sign of a change of character, because really it's not a confirmed higher low. It would be nice to get a proper higher low and a proper higher high. So at best case scenario, obviously we come down for a higher low, but we also could go up and make a higher high right now and start breaking above this high and this high and eventually this high. This would be a bit of a target, a bit of resistance right here, $4.75. If we get there in one go this way, I expect a bit of a reaction, especially by that time we'll have the 200 daily come down a little bit more, meet it in the middle, intercept it, find some confluence there, and potentially come down for a backtest confirmation, and hopefully there we can get our higher low that we need to get full on bullish. Point of control is down here. We can come down to the discount zone, maybe about 50%, and then start entertaining it. We have a bit of volume also down here at about $4 that could hold support. That's what I'm kind of looking at from a bullish perspective. However, if we do not start doing this, we squeeze into the upside, and obviously this should be led by a very strong altcoin thesis, led by Ethereum, and seeing other factors like Bitcoin dominance falling and others showing strength and so on and so forth. If we do roll over here, okay, just understand that it's not over yet. In fact, nothing really has changed. If we do roll over, what we're looking at is a potential higher low. That's what we need. If we make a low lower than these two bottoms, guys, it's not a good look. Okay, I'll just be honest. So that's your invalidation. And I would put your invalidation a little bit lower, for this potential setup. And then I would be looking at a higher low, looking for a retracement. Using Fibonacci is fine. Start scaling it at the golden pocket, 786, 886, and then be done with it. Don't go in too heavy. Ultimately, if it gets down to this level, you've done your due diligence to get into your average buy order, and then you wait for the reversal. Another thing you can do is just wait for a bearish response. If we are lucky enough to get one, Just be patient for it to get oversold on lower time frames, and then start looking for a change of character on lower time frames, such as the 15-minute, and get in from that market structure shift or that pivot point structure right into here with a proper change of character, similar to what we're looking for here, but on smaller and lower time frames within this dip that we could potentially get. Now we'll take a look at the oscillators to see if it's possible to get a bearish response very soon and lower time frames, but that's basically what I'm looking for. Two opportunities: breakout right now, come down and backtest, or break down right now, backtest now, make the higher low, and then expand for that higher high. And then we start, looking for a break through this volume gap that will give us the major move upwards, maybe inducing a lot of FOMO and a lot of market participation, retail market, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's that. Let's take a look at oscillators real quickly here. You can see that momentum is primed. Guys, I'm a momentum trader. When I see momentum like this, it gets me excited. Okay, and I like this rounded type of structures. Rounded bottoms are amazing signs of accumulation. Okay, so this is what I want to see, right? And don't get shaken out based on, manipulation, because it could happen still, right? We know that market makers play games. Look at these wicks, guys. They're insanity. And it could still happen. However, still maintaining an overall, rounded trajectory, which means that eventually we'll get some follow through to the upside. And especially with the fact that if you follow momentum, it is oversold and it is currently trending to the upside and hasn't left the chop zone yet. As soon as momentum leaves the chop zone, we're going to start getting overbought, and that's where you're going to get the major explosion to the upside. In the meantime, this is your opportunity for an entry. Right here, this volatility, the orange line. Let me just get rid of some of this artwork for a second. This orange line right here, let me zoom in. Why not? Let's see, because this oscillator right now is giving us some good opportunity. If we can, and if we do, because this is still very possible. It happens once in a while. Just keep in mind, we jitter up here, jitter up here, jitter up here. As you can see, it happens, okay? Just keep that in mind. And usually that leads to some sort of divergence and some sort of rejection. But even still, if we do come down and we get oversold, eventually at one given point, that would be your opportunity to go long, given that momentum is in an uptrend. Okay, so you're trying to catch volatility to the upside, okay, volatility moving up, while momentum is also moving up in the same direction. That means that you're trading volatility and momentum in the same direction. Ideally, that's when you catch a good position. Okay, look at this expansion, definitely the red expansion in the background, definitely tapering in, and we have this little one that looks super weak, meaning that the bears may not be showing a lot of strength in the next little while. So render's looking pretty good at this bottom. So back to oscillators, back to the let's take a look at the trend oscillator. This one right here, EMAs are facing up, green histogram bars entering the bullish control zone at the current moment. I just want to be clear about what that looks like. When we enter the bullish control zone, you see big purple expansions, again, big purple expansions. If we start looking at what happened to the price when we get these big purple expansions, it's when we start pumping. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. We are in that zone for a potential bullish reaction as soon as we start breaking structure to the upside. So let's pivot back to structure and we look at market structure. What we need is that higher high and the higher low right into this level to start pivoting to the upside and start looking, instead of making lower lows and lower highs, we want some higher highs and higher lows up this way. And of course, breaking through that volume gap that just give us massive opportunity. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Now again, we can get onto the 4 hour and look at this in a little bit more zoomed in, and we can get onto the 1 hour, and you can see the really nothing has changed, guys. The 4 hour in fact could come down a little bit. It could stay up overbought for a little bit longer. We could get some volatility, but the daily is giving you such good signals for a reversal here, guys. I would be buying the dip all the way down to invalidation, which would be lower than these lows. That's it. It's simple. Looking at these structures on the daily is so simple because it's just a DCA opportunity. Very, very brainless DCA, because ultimately if it does break the structure, guys, you will not regret it, because we're talking about a big move. This is a bigger daily move. Let's quickly measure what I'm talking about. Let's say you enter now, more or less this is your average entry, and we can break right through. It's an 83% move, guys. That's pretty good. And even getting rejected here, that's still 34% and still gives you the possibility to get back in on a rejection for a continuation to the upside. So of course, I am very hopeful. It's a lot of hopium here that I'm talking about, because the bearish scenario is quite easy. The trend is your friend. We keep on falling. But if we can get a proper market structure that pivots right into this level, guys, I am expecting render to reverse right into the zone and go up for a high, whether it be just a relief rally, a lower high, a higher high. We don't know. We'll get there. We'll get there when we get there. But at the current moment, guys, you're not taking that bad of. It's not bad of a moment to take a bit of risk, given that we're showing lots of good signals of support at these zones. All right, guys. So if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button, guys. If the links are in the description. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description, of course. And join the Discord, guys. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.